All right, good evening to you. Great thanks for joining us. Welcome to Prime Edition. Tomorrow is D-Day for the Republic of Kenya. 45 governors will be taking their oath of office, marking a new beginning for some counties and obviously a continuation for others. We'll also be looking at the induction of new members of Parliament that is happening tomorrow. We have the widest coverage for you here, exclusive to KBC Channel 1. Welcome to the broadcast. Here are tonight's highlights. The Supreme Battle. IEBC submits responses as Raila urges the Supreme Court to declare him president-elect. No foul play. Gishugu returning officer Geoffrey Gitobu died of a blood clot. And Governor's Big Day. All set for swearing in of county bosses. Once more, welcome to the broadcast. My name is John Jacob Kioria. Our sign language interpreter tonight is Byron Abuli. To begin us off, the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, IEBC, maintains it conducted a fair, transparent and credible presidential election on the 9th of August, leading to the declaration of results. Led by the Chief Executive Officer Marjan Hussein Marjan, Commissioner Boya Molu and the Legal Officer Wambua Kilonzo, the team submitted Forms 34A, 34B, 34C and 34D to the Supreme Court sub-registry in response to the Azimio Coalition presidential candidate Raila Odinga's presidential petition.
In compliance with an application filed by Azimio la Umoja presidential candidate Raila Odinga, requesting for all material used by IEBC in tallying, verification and declaration of presidential results within 48 hours, the IEBC led by its CEO Marjan Hussein Marjan, Commissioner Boya Malu and the Legal Officer Wambua Kilonzo submitted Forms 34A, 34B, 34C and 34D, as well as all forms used for the presidential election on the August of 9th general election.
Those are the things we have submitted and officially received by court. Now it is in court custody, so we are done with our obligation of submitting those election materials to the court as per the court rules and regulations.
The electoral body maintains it's confident that the whole electoral process was at par with the law.
We are very, very satisfied. Election is a very regulated process. We have followed the election law to the letter. We are very confident that there is no any violation of any procedures, rules or regulation. But that is why we have court. It is court to determine.
According to the Supreme Court timelines, the Commission has 4 days to file and serve their responses, hence expected to present their responses by the 27th of August 2022, which will be on Saturday.
27th of August to file all responses.
That's on Saturday.
Thereafter, the petitioners have a day for rejoinder, filing of interlocutory applications, and for the third parties who are friends of the court have a day to file their applications for consideration before a pre-trial conference, which will immediately be followed by a hearing with the Supreme Court required to deliver its judgment within 14 days from the day of filing. So far, 9 petitions have been filed disputing the presidential results announced on the 15th of August, with most calling for the results to be declared null and void. Serafina Robi for Prime Edition.
Obviously, these processes tell you that on the 5th of September, we should have the decision by the Supreme Court. Now, the Azimio la Umoja coalition leader Raila Odinga now wants the Supreme Court to declare him president-elect in the August 9th presidential poll. Speaking in Mombasa, Raila said he is optimistic justice will prevail. The Azimio leader asked his supporters to remain calm and wait for the moment of jubilation.
Raila, who was accompanied by his running mate Martha Karua and other elected leaders, says both have been through the worst fighting for democracy in Kenya, and he believes the case before the Supreme Court will be a game changer in the nation's politics.
Tunataka kwanza mahakama iseme ya kwamba sisi ndio tulishinda. Na hiyo ni ukweli. Tulishinda na badala ya kurudi katika uchaguzi tena tutangaze washindi, tuende tukachukue kiapo.
The ODM leader once again reiterated that he has substantive and crucial evidence that the just concluded 9th August polls were marred with irregularities.
Sisi tunataka Wakenya wawe na subira. Wawe na subira. Bimba Mamatha amesema ati kwa sababu kesi iko mahakamani hatuwezi kuongea juu yake. Lakini wakianza kule, mawakili wetu wataanza kutoa ushahidi. Mtaona 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mpaka 10.
Raila, while addressing the delegates, called on Independent Electoral and Boundary Commission IBC Chairman Wafula Chebukati to disqualify himself from overseeing Kakamega and Mombasa gubernatorial polls and let his deputy take the mantle, saying the move will bring forth free, fair and credible elections.
Nasema hizi uchaguzi itafanywa chini ya usimamizi ya naibu wa chairman ya IBC. Chebukati kama mshtakiwa disqualify himself. Ajiondoe katika hii uchaguzi mbaya inaendelea.
His sentiments were echoed by his running mate Martha Karua, saying they have a strong case with substantive evidence and their lawyers are up to task to win the case.
Mimi nilisema ya kwamba tulishinda. Yetu ni ushindi ambayo umecheleweshwa, lakini utakuja nyumbani.
Karua once again thanked the Mombasa electorates for their overwhelming support, saying the win is coming home soon. Other leaders who attended the meeting called on voters to remain calm as Azimio Coalition has a strong case before the Supreme Court.
Kila mnaposwali, kila mnapoomba, pigeni magoti tumwambie Mwenyezi Mungu simama na haki katika taifa hili. Baba Raila Amolo Odinga apate haki yake ndani ya Supreme Court. Na nina imani Baba Kea na yale matunda yote yatakuja.
Najua tuko na mawakili wakubwa sana wanaoshughulikia kesi Nairobi. Na waomba tunataka counter scrutiny na declaration ya president wetu Raila Amolo Odinga.
Tumekubaliana Mheshimiwa Raila tufanye kazi kwa sababu hawa watu wetu hatukutaka tena tuwasumbue. Tunataka tuwaelekeze mahali ambapo tutaweka kura zetu, ambapo tutadhibiti ushindi wetu.
For Prime Edition from Mombasa County, I'm Michael Mundiga.
Now, the post-mortem examination on the body of Gishugu returning officer Geoffrey Gitobo has ruled out any foul play in his death, clearing doubts that he could have been killed. Pathologists who conducted the autopsy of at Nanyuki Cottage Hospital Funeral Home said the officer died following a blood clot in the pulmonary artery. Elsewhere, a section of returning officers in the just concluded general election now want the Inspector General of Police to expedite investigations into the death of the 2 returning officers while on duty.
3 pathologists have examined the body of Gishugu constituency returning officer Geoffrey Gitobo, who collapsed and passed on in Nanyuki. The examination revealing the returning officer suffered from anemia and died following a blood clot in the pulmonary artery.
Kwamba damu ilikuwa imeganda na ikaenda kwa mshipa wa damu ambao unaitwa pulmonary artery na ikaziba. Pia tumepata kwamba damu yake ilikuwa chini, alikuwa na anemia. Kwa kumwangalia hakuwa na majeraha yoyote kwenye mwili.
The other significant findings during autopsy was he had moderate anemia.
Confirming the report, Laikipia County Criminal Investigations Officer Onesmus Towet said the death was natural, but have further taken samples that will be used to conduct further investigations.
No physical injuries, no internal injuries. Therefore, tell our people, the public there, that there is no foul play.
Ilikuwa ni sudden death, haikuwa kuuawa.
In Nairobi City County, a section of returning officers filed their grievances with the Office of Director of Public Prosecutions. The returning officers, who claim they are being harassed by politicians who lost the election, want the Inspector General of Police to address their safety concerns and expedite investigations into deaths of 2 returning officers who lost their lives in line of duty.
The next issue that they have is intimidation, harassment, and verbal abuse by politicians to the arose. The question that they have lingering in their mind is, why are politicians harassing them? Yet they are doing their work. They are diligently and honestly delivering the work that they've been assigned.
Gishoki Washira, Prime Edition.
We're still on matters related to the election, and the Jubilee Party Secretary General Jeremiah Kioni now claims there was massive voter bribery in Mount Kenya during the just concluded general election. Kioni, while terming the entire exercise a sham, said they have sworn affidavits that will be presented to the Supreme Court during the hearing of Azimio's presidential election petition.
After suffering a huge defeat in the just concluded general election, Jubilee Party, led by Party Secretary General Jeremiah Kioni, now claims there was a vote rigging in favor of their rival UDA in the Mount Kenya constituencies.
What happened within Mount Kenya was massive rigging. And the rigging was done not by the employment of one scheme, but multiple schemes.
Kioni has accused UDA party of colluding with IEBC officials to rig elections in different constituencies in Mount Kenya region.
People we were having as to apply and perhaps be recruited as RLOs and deputy RLOs were locked out. We were duped because he gazetted more than a week earlier of the people he wanted to recruit, a predetermined outcome.
The Jubilee Secretary General also said that there was mishandling of Azimio agents by presiding officer in the region.
Our Jubilee agents were denied access, and also the Azimio agents within Mount Kenya. All of them were given the same answer. Your letter is not stamped. And by the time we intervened to get the letters, to get them admitted into the polling stations, it was 10. Some places it went all the way to after midday, and even at 2, and some places they went completely without polling agents.
Kioni says they will now incorporate the evidence with Raila Odinga's presidential petition that is current at the Supreme Court.
Kidaoli Primary School opened for voting at 6 p.m., not a.m., 6 p.m. Jioni, just in case you are confusing. And then they left the station open for people to vote until midnight.
Deputy President-elect Rigathi Gachagua has urged the electorate in Rongai constituency in Nakuru County to turn up and vote for the UDA candidate on the 29th of August 2022. Rigathi, who was accompanied by a section of leaders allied to Kenya Kwanza, said it is the mandate of Kenyans to elect leaders wisely without fear or intimidation. He made the remarks in Nakuru while campaigning for UDA's Paul Chebor ahead of Monday's poll.
But we are too busy, and our only focus is on how we will uplift our economy, create jobs, create wealth for Kenyans. We have no time for vendetta. We have no time for revenge. We have no time to even point fingers at others.
Tukiongozwa na Rigathi Gachagua, Kimani Ichung'wah na Susan Kihika, tumesema hakuna mawe inarushwa pahali Kenya.
Muachane na raia ndio wenye kuamua, na hao ndio wenye kusema katika Kenya yetu.
Some sad news here. Kimilili MP-elect Didmas Barasa has been granted a 10 million shillings bond and a surety of 5 million shillings following his arraignment in court today on charges of shooting to death and aid to one of his competitors. The High Court in Kakamega has also ordered Barasa to surrender guns in his custody and stay away from Bungoma County. The Kimilili MP is accused of shooting and killing Brian Olunga, an aide to his competitor Brian Khaimba, a day before the general election at Chebukwabi in Kimilili, Bungoma County, in unclear circumstances. Barasa went into hiding and surrendered to police on Friday the 12th after a directive issued by George Kinoti, the Director of Criminal Investigations. The legislator was arraigned at the Kakamega High Court Wednesday morning, facing murder charges, with the DCI claiming that forensic and ballistic analysis placed him at the murder scene and that the bullet that ended Olunga's life was from Barassa's firearm. Though the prosecution argued against granting bail to the suspect, the High Court has granted the embattled legislator a 10 million shillings bail and a 5 million shillings surety. Barassa, however, has to surrender all firearms in his custody and equally stay away from Bungoma County, where his constituents are, so he doesn't potentially compromise the case and witnesses. Of course, we take a short breather on Prime Edition. When we come back, we'll be telling you about the swearing in of 45 governors happening tomorrow, as well as the induction of members of Parliament, and of course what is happening lately in the education sector. And of course, you ask yourself, why 45 governors? It is because Kakamega and Mombasa do not have governors just yet. The election is slated for Monday, but tomorrow, all the 45 elected in the 9th of August will be taking their oaths of office. We'll be letting you in on those details after this break.
Ili kupata skiza tune hii ya joking kwa simu yako, bonyeza *811 *758 hash.
Good morning, class.
Good morning, Mr. Tiptoe.
Now I want you to write a composition using the word jogging.
Teacher, please give us spelling for the word jogging.
Sijasema jog ile au jog ile jog ya kunyongwa. Hapana. Ninasema jogging. Na sijasema jog ile nye unasema jog ya kukimbia ya marathon ama ile jog ingine ile jog ya television ya kucheka. Sijasema hiyo jogging. Na maanisha jogging ya brain ile kukimbiza akili ya changamoto. That a composition using the word jogging.
Ili kupata skiza tune hii, bonyeza *811 *758 hash, *811 *758 hash.
Mtu akiwa serious, akuwe serious.
Life cannot always be too serious.
Yeah man, what's up here?
Allah? We've got to take some time off and laugh and laugh. And we tickle you down with lots of laughter.
That's why I'm saying I'm who is who.
Huh? With satire like no other.
Tell him to bring it on.
Aka dakachapa.
Hey, is that the drink which has a touch of cinnamon?
No. What? I'm sorry, but I felt so comfortable with him that I told him your story, and by the time I realized that I shared your life story with him.
Think of something, Alan. Make sure that neither Fernanda nor Valentina can figure out that she's your niece. Please, my son. It's better that they don't know. I'm begging you to do this. Please, Alan.
I just want to say, I wish you were my mother instead of the one I got.
Let's shift gears to education matters now. And the Cabinet Secretary, George Magoha, has ruled out extending school calendar for this term. Magoha says most schools have already completed the syllabus, and the Ministry of Education is working hard to ensure the education calendar is normalized in January.
Speaking after opening competency-based curriculum classrooms at Mohori Mushiri Secondary School in Njiru, the CS says, though the country is still going through the electioneering process, most schools have already completed the syllabus, and so far there are no plans to adjust the school calendar further.
Everybody seems to be worried that, we should extend time and what have you. In my assessment, I have noticed that a large number of schools have already completed the syllabus, and all that they need to do as they revise is to apply the knowledge that they are revising.
so that we don't just go through the syllabus again like a machine. Those who are so afraid that the time is going to be short, I think we wait and cross the bridge when we get there.
Professor Magoha projected that schools will cover for the lost time in the next 4 weeks, as the second term is slotted to end on September 16, and that the national examinations will be administered as scheduled. He at the same time said the construction of CBC classrooms was at 85% completion, with Western Nairobi and Coast yet to meet their targets.
We are working against time for 15%. Most of the uncompleted classrooms are at roofing or walling level. So we are quite confident that we shall complete. We are focused mainly in the Coast region and Western region together with Nairobi.
The Education Cabinet Secretary said the ministry was concerned on the character of school principals who send students home for lack of school fees, urging them to work around with concerned parents.
I think we shall take it very seriously as a criminal offense if, as we have directed you to look for the parents, instead you are sending the children home. It is really bad and sad.
Beatrice Getonyang-Etich, Prime Edition.
Let's go back to election matters now. United Democratic Alliance gubernatorial candidates Omar Hassan and Cleopas Malala said they have no faith in the polling officers recruited to conduct the upcoming gubernatorial elections in Kakamega and Mombasa. The two gubernatorial candidates want IEBC to replace the officers. The two counties will hold elections next week following a postponement on August 9th, occasioned by a mix-up of election materials.
And Kakamega residents are gearing up for the gubernatorial elections slated for Monday next week, with candidates running rigorous campaigns ahead of the elections. The Kakamega United Democratic Alliance candidates Cleophas Malala and Mombasa Deputy Gubernatorial candidate Selina Maitha are now demanding that the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission transfer the polling officers, saying they have lost faith in them.
POs wote waliohusika katika uchaguzi wa tarehe 9 mwezi wa 8 wakuwe transferred wote waende sehemu zingine, na hiyo tutaketi na CRO. Hakuna kusikizwa nani wala nani. Serikali sasa iko mahali ambapo natakana iweko. Lazima tutekelezewe kile ambacho natakana kitekelezwe. Manake hao ni wananchi wamesema.
POs na clerks ambao mnatumika vibaya. Tunataka tuseme kwamba sisi tutaweka measures kali kabisa hapo kwa polling station. Tutahakikisha kwamba tumeweka measures kali, hakuna kura yetu itaibiwa, na usikuwe part of that scheme.
The Mombasa County elections, which is evidently a two-horse race, has ODM candidate Abdul Swamad Nasir and UDA candidate Hassan Omar flexing their political muscle as each candidate tries to woo supporters to their camp.
Watu wa Mombasa na waomba, hii sauti ya Abdul Swamad Sharif Nasir panapo majaliwa for the next 5 years and another 5 years to come. This will be the voice of the people's project, Abdul Swamad Sharif Nasir.
Mimi nawaambia wafanyabiashara wa Mombasa wa Kenya nzima, sitaki flat, sitaki share katika kampuni yako, sitaki kukudhulumu. Wewe njoo fanya biashara Mombasa.
At his Nyali residence, where he was addressing journalists, the United Democratic Alliance gubernatorial candidate Hassan Omar reiterated that he was the best bet for the residents of Mombasa, saying he has their interests at heart. Sentiments echoed by his deputy Selina Maitha.
Serikali ya chini ikiwa ya Hassan Sarai na Selina Maitha, wewe MCA una wasiwasi wote, shwari. Hawezi kukutisha, hawezi kukuamrisha, hawezi kukuimpeach, niko. Hawezi kukuondoa. Itakuwa maisha ni vile tunavyosema shwari kwa kila mtu.
Hii kaunti ya Mombasa tunataka mabadiliko ambayo yataleta international investors from all over. Hii kaunti irudi kama pale ilikuwa manusipa zamani.
The candidates also saying they will be on the lookout for any election malpractice and have called upon the security officials to remain vigilant and ensure the process runs smoothly. For Prime Edition from Mombasa County, I am Anburu.
Well, that's about Monday. Let's focus on tomorrow. Preparations for the swearing-in of governors-elect are in top gear as almost half of the counties prepare to usher in new leadership on Thursday. Actually, all of them. According to the Constitution, all newly elected governors should be sworn in 10 days after being declared winners by the Electoral Commission on the first Thursday after the lapse of the 10 days. Timothy Kipnusu has the details.
At least 28 governors-elect are set to assume office officially tomorrow in a swearing-in ceremony scheduled for this Thursday. Kajiado residents will witness the swearing-in of Governor Joseph Ole Lenku and his deputy Martin Moshisho on Thursday at Idamat Stadium in Kajiado town. The green-carpeted stadium has a capacity to host more than 30,000 people. Ole Lenku successfully defended his seat.
Tumeweka mipangilio ya usalama. Tunaambia wananchi wakuje, hakutakuwa na shida yoyote hapa.
And Rigathi Gachagua, the deputy president-elect, is among the over 4,000 guests expected to grace tomorrow's swearing-in ceremony of Mutahi Kahiga as Nyeri's 5th governor.
And we have been meeting and we have arranged everything for tomorrow. We hope the process will be good.
Security has been beefed up in Kisii County ahead of the swearing-in ceremony of Simba Arati and his running mate Dr. Robert Monda, where between 6,000 and 8,000 people are expected to attend the event at Gusii Stadium.
When we find you that you are armed with any crude weapon, so that can be used to injure somebody during the occasion.
And everything is set for the swearing-in of Kericho Governor-elect Dr. Eric Mutahi and his Deputy Engineer Fred Kirui at Kericho Green Stadium.
And now I want to request Kericho citizens to come in numbers. And the most important thing is I want to assure you that the space is quite...
Also, a preparation for the swearing-in of the Garissa Governor-elect Nadhif Jama and his Deputy-elect Abdi Gadane at the Garissa Primary School grounds tomorrow are complete. In Kiambu County, the newly elected Kiambu County Governor Kimani Wamatangi and Deputy Rosemary Kirika are set to take oath of office as the 4th county chief in Kirigiti Stadium.
You can see we have a beautiful stadium with a lot of sitting space, so nobody will be turned away. Whether you have a card or not, you are all welcome.
In Makueni Uno grounds, the county governor committee says the 1-month preparations are complete for the swearing-in of Governor-elect Mutula Kilonzo Jr.
We also expect to host His Excellency Dr. Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka, the party leader of Wiper Democratic Movement, the party under which the governor has been elected.
In Machakos County, Governor-elect Wavinya Ndeti will take oath of office at Kenyatta Stadium.
My voters, the people who voted for me, come, this is your day. This is your day. Come, we celebrate together.
It's the same scenario in Meru County, where all is set for the swearing-in of the new governor-elect Kawira Mwangaza at Kinoru Stadium.
Mama ni mtu mzuri, kama sio mzuri angechaguliwa Meru vile alimechaguliwa. Kwa hivyo mimi niko na hakika atafanya kazi mzuri.
According to the constitution, the oath of affirmation shall take place not earlier than 10 a.m. and not later than 2 p.m. Timothy Kipnusu for Prime Edition.
Of course, Timothy Kipnusu mentions Meru County, and let's just cross over there. Regina Manyara filed a report earlier about the preparations in Meru.
Kioria, we're coming to you from Milimani, Meru County, where it's all systems go ahead of the gubernatorial inauguration ceremony that is set to take place tomorrow from 9 a.m. at the Kinoru Stadium. Well, to take us up, or rather to bring us up to speed in as far as preparations are concerned, and also the general feel among the leadership of Meru County in regard to having the first ever female governor is none other than North Imenti Member of Parliament, Rahim Dawood. Thank you, sir, and welcome. Thank you for your time. So what is your take in regard to having the first ever female governor in Meru County?
I think we have broken the glass ceiling for women leadership in Meru, and her being an independent candidate, I think it goes to show that she is she's up to what she believes in. So I wish her all the best in her governorship, and hopefully she will. Not hopefully, I believe she will be able to deliver.
Do you think she's going to run into any headwinds, being that she's the first female governor in as far as running Meru County is concerned?
No, I don't think she should run into any headwinds because, politics is all about interests. And if she can balance out all the interests, or she can do her manifesto and do everything, there should be no reason for her to not go forward, because at the end of the day, people want services, and I believe if the MCAs, she can work with all the MCAs, irrespective of which party they have come from, or if they were not on the same page. So if she can work with them, I think it should be good, and do the work for the people. That's the most important. And I believe we as MPs, we have all agreed that we will work with the governor-elect.
What areas would you want her to prioritize, at least in the first 100 days of her being in office? What areas would you want her to focus on?
The first thing would be water provision. We need water for irrigation. We need to see people getting food, because there is a drought even in Meru, even though we are a food-rich basket in the country, but we still have pockets where people don't have food. So she should look at the boreholes, if there are any more to be done. Road network as well, because Kenya Roads Board gives about more than 500 million per year to the county government, and I have already assured the governor-elect that my CARA funds, which come through the constituency, about 30 million, I will be doing roads together with the county, which are not my roads, they are county roads, but we will assist each other.
In a nutshell, do you think she will deliver on her manifesto to the people of Meru County?
Yes, I believe she will. Although I have not read her manifesto, but I believe from what she has been saying, she will definitely deliver, because there is no reason to doubt. I mean, she's been elected against all the odds, and she has to prove people right, and I believe she will do it, yes.
Thank you very much. We have been speaking to North Imenti Member of Parliament Rahim Dawood. They are recapturing a seat in the just concluded August 9th polls. And he says, as far as the members of Parliament of Meru County are concerned, they have no problem working with the first ever female governor-elect, that is Kawira Mwangaza. We'll be keeping tabs on the preparations of the gubernatorial inauguration that is set for tomorrow from 9 a.m.
Quite an inspiring story there of Kawira Mwangaza, because she is among the 45 governors who will take the oath of office on Thursday as the new county bosses assume office. Among them is Kawira Mwangaza, an independent candidate who will be sworn in as Meru governor. The Meru governor-elect floored heavyweights such as the incumbent Kioria Murungi of Jubilee and Mithika Linturi of UDA. This year's general election has seen an increase of elected women governors from 3 in 2017 to 7.
"45 counties are set for the swearing-in ceremony for governors-elect beginning Thursday. However, things will be quite different in 7 counties that elected women governors. This is the highest number of female governors in Kenya's history. The 7 counties are Homa Bay, which will be represented by Gladys Wanga of ODM. In 2013, Wanga was elected as the Homa Bay woman representative and re-elected in 2017. She was chairperson of the Finance and Budget Committee in the National Assembly. Nakuru County will now be headed by Susan Kihika of UDA. Kihika has served as Senator of Nakuru after being elected in 2017. In 2013, she contested for the Bahati Parliamentary seat but lost. She also served as Speaker of the Nakuru County Assembly. Kawira Mwangaza, who ran as an independent candidate, is now the governor-elect for Meru County. Mwangaza is the only one among the 7 to vie on an independent ticket. She floored heavyweights such as the incumbent Kiraitu Murungi of Jubilee and Mithika Linturi of UDA. In the coastal region, Fatuma Achani will be the Kwale County boss after successfully vying on a UDA ticket. Achani was initially the deputy governor for the county. Anne Waiguru of Kirinyaga County, who ran under UDA, was re-elected to serve for a second term. Waiguru served as the cabinet secretary for devolution. She also served as the first vice chairperson of the Council of Governors from 2017 to 2019. Cecily Mbarire is the governor-elect of Embu County and won the seat on a UDA ticket. She was a nominated member of parliament and also the former member of parliament for Runyenje's constituency. Wiper Party's Wavinya Ndeti will be the new county boss for Machakos. Wavinya has unsuccessfully contested for the seat 2 times. Before vying for the seat in 2022, she was the Chief Administrative Secretary for Transport. In 2007, she was elected Member of Parliament for Kathiani constituency. In the 2017 general election, only 3 women managed to be elected as governor. The 3 are Charity Ngilu of Kitui, Anne Waiguru of Kirinyaga, and the late Joyce Laboso of Bomet County. Nancy Okware, Prime Edition.
That's about the 7 female governors, but a total of 38 male governors were elected into office on the 9th of August, a general election. 24 of them are new entrants, 6 successfully defended their seats, while 8 made a comeback, having served 1 term after being elected in 2013. Among the new entrants are Isiolo Governor-elect Abdi Guyo, who until 2022 served as a member of the county assembly representing Matopeni in Nairobi County.
As the swearing in of governor-select kicks off tomorrow, the country is staring at fresh leadership from newcomers elected on Tuesday, 9th of August. In the newly elected governors, 24 are male, while 6 are female, totaling to 30 new entrants. Among the distinctive cases is Isiolo Governor-elect Abdi Guyo, who rose from the position of Member of County Assembly in Matopeni, Nairobi, to being a governor in Isiolo. Guyo also served as a majority leader in Nairobi County Assembly before moving to Isiolo to vie for the county leadership position. Another new entrant is Taita Taveta's Andrew Mwadime, who until recently was Taita Taveta's senator and vied for the county's boss position on an independent party ticket. Other newcomers to the Council of Governors are Irongo Kang'ata of Murang'a County, Nairobi's Johnson Sakaja, Moses Kiari alias Badilisha of Nyandarua, Jonathan B alias Kotimoja of Uasin Gishu County, and Simon Kachapin of West Pokot County, among others who have since been gazetted by the Electoral Commission. For Prime Edition, I'm Gladys Mungai.
Of course, you remember Simon Kachapin served as governor in West Pokot before being floored by Professor Lonyangapuo, and of course making a comeback in this election, having served as Chief Administrative Secretary in the Ministry of Education. Now, elected members of the National Assembly are on Thursday and Friday expected to attend orientation sessions at Parliament buildings to familiarize themselves with parliamentary procedures. Acting National Assembly Clerk Sarah Kioko, through a notice to MPs-elect, also says members will be briefed on essential legislative matters. The orientation exercise comes amid an escalating tussle for members between 2 rival political factions targeting control of the House.
Exactly 15 days after the general election, and with Parliament first sitting of the new House set to be held in not more than 30 days after the general election, procedures to effectively prepare members of the new House are taking shape. Tomorrow and Friday, elected members of the National Assembly will be making their way to Parliament buildings for an induction program that will efficiently prepare them to participate in the business of the House under the 13th Parliament. According to National Assembly Acting Clerk Sarah Kioko, among activities scheduled include registration of the members, collection of biodata information, and issuance of parliamentary identification cards. The induction program will set the stage for the first sitting of Parliament, where the bicameral Parliament will elect respective House leadership that will then be followed by swearing in of the MPs-elect. According to the law, a candidate for the National Assembly Speaker's seat must be supported by at least 2/3 or 233 of the 349 members of the National Assembly. If the threshold is not attained in the first round, the one with a simple majority in the second round wins. Legally, Azimio has 165 elected members of Parliament, while United Democratic Alliance has 154. Although bound by coalition agreement under Azimio, some political parties such as Maendeleo Chap with 2 MPs, Pamoja African Alliance with 4 elected MPs, and United Democratic Movement have warmed up to Kenya Kwanza.
That is a total of 170 legislators in the National Assembly. In addition to that, let it go on record again that we have 12 independent members of Parliament and have already met the President-elect and his team and confirmed unequivocally that they shall be working with Kenya Kwanza. So that brings us to 180.
With the first business of Parliament being the election of the speakers, both coalitions need numbers to elect their favorite candidate and replicate the same in the position of leader of majority who spearheads government business in the House. 4 constituencies, Kitui Rural, Kacheliba, West Pokot and Rongai, are yet to pronounce their decision. Kamche Menza for Prime Edition.
Sometimes I wish I never left. Probably JJ would be at a better place right now.
And you were not really there when we needed a mother.
Kuna kitu inaitwa doto za mushana na dreams. So, jua kutofautisha.
Ukitaka ku make money on a side apart from this job, punguza mdomo.
Kunyamaza pia inakuwa ni gharama sana.
Unajua kuongea lugha ya pesa.
Hello?
I'm planning to call a board meeting.
She has already reached. Okay, let me look at the forms, then I'll get them to you via email.
How would you like working with us?
I'm not quite sure how that would work.
We are on the same side.
We're gonna need Millicent on our side.
Bosi, mtoto mimi sijamuona tangu jana.
Maana yeye ndo babake na mamake. Au mtawa kumadopt.
Siku zote wewe ndo wampeleka shuleni. Mbona leo?
Sasa pia tutabishana kwa sababu ya hili.
Put him down. Nilifikiria swali la kwanza tunauliza ni nimeingiaje ndani.
Sina njaa mimi. Mpelekeo kahindi mule, nyote mwe vibonge mfanani.
Be mara ngapi kwa mtu lazimishwe kula?
Yuko wapi?
Karibuni sana to the Second Chance TV game show.
Tough questions.
Virunga National Park is located within which mountain ranges? Aberdare. Aberdare, is that your final answer?
Tough challenges.
Nona teammate yako kwenu. 3, 2, 1.
It's a survival for the smartest.
10 seconds to go. Who is the current president of Malawi?
Jakaya Kikwete.
Wrong answer. That is the wrong answer. Does it border to the east? Nakuru County. Nakuru County, you get 2,000 bob.
Premiering soon on Channel 1.
Beyond this control, Makuapa. How can you say kneeling down and lifting your hands in the air and saying, I am sorry 10 times is beyond this control?
You want fake money, utanjipata pambaya.
Wait, come in. Who told you it's fake? You know I don't deal with fake money.
Then wait for your suspension letter at the principal's office.
Suspension for just saying I don't like the student leadership. Kinyaji tuache kulia ama tuendelee?
Well, thank you for staying with us and welcome for the business news of the day. Now, the milk you consume may be contaminated due to poor pre- and post-harvest handling. This is according to a study by the International Livestock Research Institute that reveals that about 50% of milk samples collected from the counties of Nakuru, Laikipia and Nyandarua are contaminated, hence the need for immediate action to stem poor milk handling by farmers and vendors.
Over 5 billion litres of milk is produced in the country annually, making Kenya a leading milk producer in the region. Of these, smallholder dairy farmers contribute 75% of the total milk produced in Kenya. Despite this, researchers are raising an alarm over the high rates of milk contamination from smallholder producers due to poor handling and unhygienic storage arrangements.
The way to control these adulterations is just maybe to have our regulators, especially the Kenya Dairy Board, to be more active. If they have less staff, let them be a bit more, let them have more extension officers related to this part of quality control.
The study that was conducted in Nakuru, Laikipia and Nyandarua counties found that the informal value chain often transports unrefrigerated milk on motorcycles, exposing it to varying temperature and pollutants.
Safety of the milk is dependent on three things. Number one, it could be microbiological. Number two, it could be chemical. And number three, it could be physical.
According to the study, out of 493 milk samples tested, 237 were contaminated with Pseudomonas spp. And the researchers discovered traces of Escherichia coli in 207 samples.
Microorganisms are in the environment and they are on the person's body, they are in the water. So anytime you don't treat these things correctly, then you have a problem. So in this case, we need high standards of hygiene.
The researchers say a majority of farmers do not adhere to proper animal waste disposal, proper chemical handling and guidelines on animal welfare standards that are aggravating the situation. Reporting for Prime Edition, I am Teresa Mutai.
Kenya is pushing for more market access in the United States through negotiations on a new trade agreement. The U.S. delegation to the negotiations is led by the U.S. Trade Representative Senator Chris Coons, who says they are seeking public comments on the matter through the Federal Register until 16th of next month before negotiators from both countries develop a detailed roadmap in October this year.
Kenya and the United States last month agreed to embark on talks aimed at reviving trade relations between Kenya and the United States after the U.S. halted the free trade agreement. Even though the format of the talks has changed since Kenya began trade negotiations in 2020 under President Donald Trump's administration, Kenya and the U.S. are engaging on many of the initial areas of engagement. The two countries have agreed on 10 major areas of cooperation. Among them, customs and trade facilitation, good regulatory practices, anti-corruption standards, enhancing trade between micro, small and medium enterprises, deepening agriculture trade, standards collaboration, digital trade, labor and environmental standards, and participation of marginalized groups in trade. The delegations from both countries note that the new trade agreement would focus on reciprocal arrangements where both countries would mutually benefit from the deal. The Ministry of Industrialization, Trade and Enterprise Development says market access is at the focal point of the new arrangement, as it would serve as a template for other African countries aspiring to establish trade ties with the United States. Kenya is mainly focusing on market access for her products to secure more exports since the preferential market access under the African Growth and Opportunity Act is set to expire in the year 2025. Kenya believes the deal with the US would enhance regional economic integration. Hibak Said for Prime Edition.
Now we focus on the latest from Kenya Airways, where the airline is hoping for disbursement of the government bailout to keep its aircraft in the skies and hopefully start making profit in 3 years. The airline's CEO, Alan Kilavuka, says even though the government conditioned the bailout on reduction of costs by 35%, the airline has attained the renegotiated target of 19%. KQ made a net loss of 9.8 billion shillings during the first 6 months of this year, blamed on high fuel prices, a weak shilling, and $1.6 billion that has not been repatriated from countries such as Nigeria and Ethiopia. The national carrier's total equity worsened to negative 98.3 billion shillings as at the end of June this year, as Kenya Airways has been loss-making since the year 2013. This has seen KQ's management approach the government, which is its largest shareholder, for cash injection to keep its aircraft in the skies. But the bailout is conditional.
After a long period of negotiation and discussion with the IMF and with the Kenyan government, with National Treasury, it was agreed that there would be a certain amount of money sent to Kenya Airways, financing Kenya Airways over the next 2 years, but subject to certain milestones.
We have been able to achieve so far is about a 19% reduction in cost overall going forward. So rental reduction in cost.
KQ's management is optimistic that with the government bailout, the carrier would return to profitability in 3 years.
And those milestones were, as Alan has said, is to reduce cost, to restructure our debt so that at the end of the 2-year period, which is in 2024, that we become to break even and then go into profitability. That process is underway.
This emerged as the carrier reported yet another net loss of 9.8 billion shillings made during the first 6 months of this year that it blames on a weak shilling and high fuel prices, since the airline no longer has fuel hedging deals.
Fuel is a key factor from a negative perspective. That's why it's in red by 11.1 billion, followed by DOCs. DOCs are operational related and overheads, resulting in a loss of 9.8 billion.
He says the carrier's operations have been negatively affected by delayed repatriation of $1.6 billion, of which $1 billion is yet to be repatriated from African countries such as Nigeria and Ethiopia.
And the reasons why we are not able to move the funds is because of shortage in foreign currency in those markets.
Between January and June this year, total passengers increased 85% to 1.61 million passengers following the lifting of COVID-related travel restrictions. This, in addition to a 39% increase in cargo tonnage, lifted the airline's revenue 76% to 48.1 billion shillings. Last but not least, tea exports reduced 28% in the month of May as compared to the same period last year, despite increased production due to good weather. The Tea Board of Kenya says the decline in exports is due to Russia-Ukraine crisis that has reduced the spending power of new Kenyan tea markets.
The global recession occasioned by the Russian-Ukraine crisis saw Kenya tea export destination shrink to 40 markets compared to 51 during the same period last year. Year-on-year, tea export during the month of May reduced by 28% after Kenya shipped 37 million kilos worth 11.7 billion shillings compared to 51 million kilos worth 13 billion shillings last year. However, a kilo of green leaf fetched 315.28 shillings per kilo compared to 245.75 shillings per kilo in May 2021. Pakistan remained the leading export destination for Kenyan tea, with Kenya shipping 13.84 million kilos of green leaf worth 4.4 billion shillings. Shipments to Pakistan accounted for 38% of Kenya's total tea export volumes. Other key export destinations for Kenyan tea were Egypt, that imported 5.3 million kilos of Kenyan tea worth 1.6 billion shillings. The United Arab Emirates, the United Kingdom, Yemen, Russia and Sudan rounded off as Kenya's top tea export destination, cumulatively importing 11 million kilos of green leaf worth 3.5 billion shillings. Local tea consumption also reduced drastically in May this year, with sales reducing to 2.14 million kilos against 4.15 million kilos for the corresponding period of 2021. This was attributed to lower demand occasioned by rise in the cost of living. Despite reduced earnings, tea production increased from 45 million kilos in 2021 to 50 million kilos following the onset of the long rains in the tea growing regions. Benson Droba reporting for Prime Edition.
Well, that story by Benson brings to a close business news for tonight. But John Jacob Kioria is coming up next with a sports update. My name is Caroline Jenga. Have a good night and see you tomorrow for more business news.
Songea tukupashe na zile ambavyo vitakupa tabasamu tosha.
Hana mapenzi wala mahaba, mtoto mbaya sana huyu.
What did you just say? Sio tamthilia tu.
And why you're saying that
Ni tamthilia tosha.
Alinishika hivi. What?
Sio burudani tu, ni burudani tosha.
It is the day that the Lord has made.
Na sinema bomba.
Enda kabisa kama uelewi kitu inafaa uelewe.
Na mada za kusisimua. KBC Channel 1, shirika la utangazaji Kenya.
Time for sports now, and the national women netball team ended the group stages in style after securing a 52-36 win over Eswatini in the last group match at the ongoing 2023 World Cup qualifiers in Pretoria, South Africa. The Kenya Divas dominated Eswatini in their final group B match, taking it 52-36. The match was called off within 4 minutes and 50 seconds to go in the fourth quarter after a powerful failure resulted in poor lighting. According to the competition rules, a team leading with 15 goals when there are less than 5 minutes of play left in the final quarter is declared the winner. Following the result, the Divas have finished third in the group behind Malawi and Zambia. After the group phase, Kenya will play in classification matches for positions 5 to 9. Because it's a power failure that affected the game. National women volleyball team Malkia Strikers humbled Vinhedo of Brazil by 3 straight sets in a friendly match played in Sao Paulo, Brazil. Led by veteran Masi Moim, Sharon Chepchumba, Edith Wissa and libero Agrippina Kundu, Kenya labored before bagging the first set 28-26. The Power Bitok Chargers won the second set 25-13 before winning the third set 25-23. Bitok noted that there was improvement in reception from the left attackers and libero. The team is currently camping in Brazil ahead of the World Championships slated for 23rd of September to 15th October in Poland and Netherlands. Kenya will mark her return to hosting international cricket after a decade by playing Nepal cricket team in the T20 series starting tomorrow at Nairobi Omikana Cricket Grounds. This is the first time that Nepal's cricket team is visiting Kenya.
Cricket Kenya will be hosting the men's national squad of Nepal in bilateral series scheduled for tomorrow till the 5th of September 2022 at the Nairobi Gymkhana Grounds. The teams will play 5 T20 internationals, followed by 3 one-day internationals. Kenya have just returned from Jersey, where they played in the final leg of the ICC Men's Cricket World Cup Challenge, League B, where they won 4 matches and lost 1. The team want to keep this form going in the Nepal series.
I think the team is quite ready. The team is really looking forward to play tomorrow. I think we've been playing good cricket for the past 1 month. We just came from a tour where we were really happy as a team with the results that we got and the way the team was playing. So that is giving us morale to come to this series that we're playing against Nepal.
We are looking to play well so that we can improve our ranking in the T20, because as we know now, Nepal is ranked ahead of us. So when we play games like these ones and we win most of the games or we win all of the games, so we are looking to push our ranking up there.
Elsewhere, the men's under-19 team are training at C Union Club as they prepare for ICC Under-19 Cricket World Cup qualifiers.
We had a total of more than 50 to 70 kids coming for training. We've cut it down to 25, and they are working very well. We are getting good support from the clubs and the board.
Tunaenda kwa World Cup qualifiers Division 2 in Nigeria. Tumekuwa kwa kiwanja for the last 1.5 months kwa training. Tumekuwa na both boys number 35, group ya watu 35. Tumekuwa tukienda kwa mchujo kila mwezi, kila wiki mbili tunachujana. So tumebakisha watoto 20. Na watoto 20 pia tunaenda kwa mchujo, tuchuje wengine 5, tubaki na watoto 15.
The Under-20 Cricket World Cup Qualifiers Africa Division 2 tournament will be hosted in Nigeria from 30th September to 8th October 2022. The series that will see Nepal brave their first match in Kenyan soil will kick off tomorrow for bilateral cricket series in Nairobi. The Kenyan team is optimistic to produce stellar performance and they are set for the game. Reporting for KBC from Gym Camp, Nairobi, I'm Kingori Mwangi.
Of course, the first Mokorino you'll ever see doing sports. Newly crowned 100 meters Commonwealth Games champion Ferdinand Omanyala will leave the country tonight ahead of the Continental Tour slated for the 4th of September this year in Italy. Omanyala, who took part in various competitions this year, has promised to do all he can to finish his season on a high. Omanyala has had an outstanding season where, among others, he beat American Fred Curley to the gold medal in the Cape Kano Classic Continental Tour before winning the 100 meters title in the Africa Senior Athletics Championship in Mauritius, where he also anchored the men's 4x100 meters relay team to victory. The Africa 100 meters record holder crowned it all when he became the first Kenyan to win the 100 meters men Commonwealth title in Birmingham this month. Omanyala is now targeting his first podium finish in the 2024 Olympic Games in Paris, France, after his Olympic Games debut in Tokyo, where he reached the semi-finals. All right, time for us to put a cap on Prime Edition. But of course, I'll be here early morning tomorrow as we look at the swearing in of the 45 governors, and 45 because 2 of them have not been elected just yet in Kakamega and in Mombasa, and we'll be letting you in on the details of the swearing in tomorrow, as well as the induction program for new members of Parliament happening concurrently tomorrow, and of course later on Friday. But of course, after a short break and some time, reggae, your weekly reggae dose is back. We'll leave you in the hands of our reggae man. My name is John Jacob Kioria. Have yourself a fantastic night. God bless.
there.
Good boys gone bad.
Eric Omondi has evolved from being a comedian to now being the king clout chaser.
How does a gospel artist make money? Jaguar wet again.
Anaweza kuwa celeb, anaweza kuwa na followers, but it's a time for artists to make bank.
Right? How is your relationship with Zari, considering that she dates young?
These are accessories.
They get out, slap the guy.
Yo, what's up? My name is Ted Josiah.
Mashallah.
You sing about serious issues, it will not trend. If you sing about Aviation,
no.
Bahati hata kuwa na machozi. Willy Paul ndo alikuwa anatoa machozi.
For your beat these boys with stones, let's all be logic. Yesu ashukangi chini analeta pesa.
Musicians are missing the point.
Do we sip water?
You are watching Pop Culture with Adhiambo with a Y.